All right. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Testimonial Tuesday. We have a very special guest to introduce you to. Her name is Lydia, and she is one of our incredible students. You guys probably recognize her. She was actually on our panel at our annual conference this year, and we're just excited to hear more from her. And so can we all just give her a super warm welcome in the chat? Um, if you are here for the very first time, we love to do these Testimonial Tuesdays where you just get to hear from real students in our community who are implementing the information that they've learned. Some of them are extremely successful, and some of them have retired from their jobs, and some are still working towards their goals. Our goal here is for just to really have a transparent conversation about our students' journeys here, okay? So thank you so much, Lydia, for joining us.
My
I
pleasure.
am so happy that you're here. I think to start us off, I would love for you just to tell us a little bit about yourself, and what really drew you to Forex for Women. Why are you here?
Should I just say my journey and how I ended up finding
I
Forex for
love it.
Women?
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay, uh, well, okay, let me just shake
You
it out.
got this, girl.
Yes. So about 7 years ago, I had an ex-boyfriend who traded Forex. He had studied economics. He was like a kind of finance kind of guy. And he, just mentioned Forex in passing every so often and used to trade on his phone. Um, and that was a while ago. But sorry, yeah, at the time I thought, wow, that sounds really interesting, but it's not something that I can do. First of all, it's a thing that guys do. It's not something that girls do, so I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't have a degree in finance or economics, so I probably will never be able to do it. So it just kind of was an idea in my mind, but I never like went to do it.
Mhm.
Then fast forward a few years in my life, I studied to work as a teacher, thinking that once I start working as a teacher, then everything like the path will be clear for me. I'll have lots of money. I'll be able to buy my own house, buy my own car. I'll be free, whatever. And then when I started working, I realized that I was completely wrong and that the freedom that I seeked was not going to be found like doing this job basically or
Mhm.
working like under somebody or in employment. Um, so yeah, so then I started to kind of like seek different ways that I could find a way out or like find a different way of living because the way of living then was we're just counting down the days until the next holiday. And I was like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to count down the days until the weekend and then I sleep the whole weekend and then do it again because I'm so tired. I didn't want to live like that. So I started looking for a way that I could live differently, live better. And initially, I came across a different group called Female Invest.
Mhm.
And they're very similar to this group in that it's three women who came together who created like an educational platform in order to inform women and empower them. But their focus is on investing. And so I started getting into investing like open by ISA and all that. And this is coming from a background of no financial education whatsoever, like zero. Like we don't talk
Mhm.
about it, not at school, not at home, anywhere. So
Mhm.
starting from scratch, I started investing and I realized investing is all well and good and I recommend it. However, it's something like the way that it's set up, they want you to do it alongside your career that you will do until you retire.
Right.
So I was like, I like the idea of putting my money somewhere and it growing without me having to do too much, but I don't like the idea of working until retirement. So let me keep looking for something that I can do that will allow me to not work until retirement and make my money work for me. And so that seed that had been planted by my boyfriend all those years ago kind of germinated, like popped out. And I was like, how about that Forex thing?
Mhm.
So I got on Amazon and I ordered myself like the most basic book. I actually have it here to show you. Currency trading for dummies.
I
Like
love
started
it.
just yeah, I just became like a student, and I just completely just like nerded out and like tried to absorb everything that I could from this book. Like I would go to work half an hour early, sit in the cafe and just like highlight things, like look up words I didn't know what they meant. And like so I did that for a few months, and then this book led me to other books, and podcasts and things. And eventually I got to find a trading method by some guru person, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I have a strategy and I'm going to start trading it, and I'm going to be so rich. And I can't
Mhm.
believe nobody else knows about this secret.
Mhm.
But little did I know that actually trading, like, it's more than just having a strategy. Like your mindset needs to be right. You need
Mhm.
to you need to do like work on yourself before you see any kind of return, because if you don't, the natural way that like humans interact with this environment kind of gets in the way of you succeeding.
Yeah.
So I started with that strategy thinking I was going to be the richest person in the world. Um, I
Don't we
did it on
all?
demo. Yeah, I did it on demo. I did it, and then I was kind of just break even, like winning, losing. Then I started live, same, but then kind of gradually just going down. And with Oanda, you have like a person who you can call, like someone who it's the same person every time. Like if you have Oanda, I'm sure everybody has that. Um, but yeah, they help you get set up. And if you have any trading questions or anything, they like answer your questions. Um, yeah. Yeah, so I called up my person. His name's Brett. I'm sure UK ladies might have the same person as me. But yeah, so I called him up and I was like, Brett, I'm trading this strategy and like it's not really working. I was wondering if you know any communities or courses or schools or anything that I can become a part of that will like help me improve my trading. And he was like, well, I can't really recommend anyone, but have you tried Forex for Women? So I searched it
That's
up.
great.
Yeah. I joined because I saw like on the Facebook all these posts about women like making loads of money and green candles and thank you for this knowledge and all that. So I joined, became a member, and after 3 weeks of trading the strategy, my account was up 20%. So I was like,
Wow.
oh, this is good. So that was like early March. So around early, that's when I joined, early March. And then from early March till about the end of July, I think markets were just very nice because it was like either trending up or just softly consolidating, but I didn't see any major losses. So like my account from then between March and July kind of just steadily grew and grew and grew until I grew it to about 100%. So I
Wow.
doubled what was
Wow.
in there, and I was like, oh, this is really great. So also around that time, we were talking about prop firms as well. So there was more excitement and information about that in that period of time. So I started doing prop firms. The first one I did, I failed. The second one I did, I passed. Third one I did, I passed.
Mhm.
Um, and then July really was the time when they really just grew and grew and grew and grew and got really quite big. Where
Mhm.
at one point I was looking at like a combined payout of about 60K,
Wow.
which was just, I
Wow.
don't know. I was in my room, this very room, looking at like the screen, like not knowing how to take it, like not knowing what to do, like not understanding, like my brain couldn't compute
Yeah. You're
because
like,
like
what
going
did I just accomplish?
yeah,
Yeah.
like going from being a teacher and like earning 1,600 for a whole month's work
Right.
to like potentially getting a payout of like more than 3 years salary. It was
Yeah.
just like my brain, it just didn't, yeah. So
Wow.
I don't know whether it's because I wasn't ready for it or just because it was the learning curve, but the first prop firm, which was in about 50K profits, that one hit equity-based drawdown. So I
Mm.
breached and I lost it all, which was hard to take, but
Yeah.
part of the journey, I think. And the
Mhm.
other one I received just under 10K payout from. So Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Congratulations on that,
amazing.
That
Lydia.
is just a huge accomplishment, though. My goodness.
And
In just a couple months.
yeah, and I just have to say that says so much about your determination because I've
Mhm.
felt that loss myself very, very closely. And so to continue to pursue and know that you were going to be successful regardless of the pullbacks that you had, I'm just really, really impressed with your story. I would love to hear, I would love to hear if there were any initial fears with stepping into Forex, because you had said that you were thinking about the fact that it was your boyfriend who was doing it and it was a male dominated space and all of these different things. When you reintroduced yourself to that space, and then when you found Forex for Women, was there anything that, fear-based that crept in for you?
I think at that point I was like, I can't keep living the way that I'm living. So any fears that I had before, they just need to go.
Mm,
Like, I I know that this can work. And like, come on, Lydia, it doesn't make a difference if you're a man or a woman. Like,
Mm,
information is information.
mm,
It's
wow.
not, information isn't sexist, okay? Like, it's not reserved for
Yeah.
men. Like,
Wow.
you can do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Write that down,
I
ladies. Information
know.
isn't sexist. Wow.
I love that so much, Lydia. That's such a powerful point because we put that in our brains, right? And I think it's kind of like culture has made us believe we can't have it all, but we actually can. And I feel like you're proof of that. You know, you get to be a woman, you get to step into the space, you get to pass the prop firms, you get to have it pay out, you get to choose. You don't have to just settle for what, society has made you believe. I want to know, at the beginning of the session, you kind of spoke about if you just try and process these charts just through analytics, you're not really going to see success. So I want to know, what part of the mindset, or has mindset played a role, do you think, in what you have been able to create, and maybe not give up when you had those moments where 99% of people probably would have just gone, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. I think mindset is such a huge part of it, like insanely. I feel like it's said over and over and over again. And at the beginning, you're like, yeah, yeah, whatever, but I can do it. It doesn't matter. But really, it really matters. Um, like there's, they explain it so well in the, but okay. So let's say, okay, sorry, trading in the zone.
Mhm.
Yeah, he talks about. Sorry, my big pot of money just fell over. Okay. Um, he
It's making it
talks about,
rain.
yeah, just like Brad singing, "Hey girl."
Woo.
Yeah, in
Oh
Trading
my
in the Zone,
goodness.
he talks about how like our brains are not automatic, like everything else we deal with in a specific way. And then when we come to the trading space where possibilities are kind of infinite, like we try to
Mm,
apply the same mentality to the charts, but it just doesn't work.
Mhm.
So you kind of need to change, like adapt the way that you think to fit the charts basically. And that
mm,
takes like a lot of work because it also takes your emotions into it. Like when you're seeing a loss, or even when you're seeing that you're winning, like you want to pull the profits quickly, or when you see a loss, you want to hope for it to turn around. But you kind of need to
mm,
flip your thinking, and that like when you see profit, you need to kind of hold on and wait for it to go, which is actually really hard to do. And
mhm,
because you don't want to lose it because you're scared of loss. And then when it goes against you, you kind of want to cut it short instead of hoping that it's going to turn around.
mm.
um yes, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. But yeah, that's one aspect of it, like just trading, but just the mindset in general of like believing that you can do it. Like for example, I said I was looking at 60K and I literally think my brain couldn't, like my mind wasn't ready to receive it, and
It
I
started
think
to
that's
ignore the
the
rules
reason.
almost.
Say again.
Started to kind of ignore the rules almost. Like you knew that that was a potential rule with your prop firm, and then your brain was just kind of like self-sabotage in a way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like you only realize after, but
Yeah.
like at
Mm,
the time, because if you don't do the mindset, like your programming, like we've been reading about in What to Do When You Talk to Yourself, kind of
mm,
just leads you in a direction and you kind of will always go in that direction unless you actively try to change it, which mindset is just invaluable. Thank you, Jen, for book club. I love it. Thank you, Gemma, for mindset. I love it because it literally changed my life. I mean, obviously this whole space has changed my life, but the value that you give us with the books that you're leading us to, and then also all sharing together and hearing other women's perspectives on it, and like other little branches that grow from the group, it's amazing. It's so good.
That's really sweet. Thank you, Lydia.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, kind of taking you back to when you first started to learn trading. I know that you were saying like, okay, it just wasn't working. I'm just curious, what do you think some of those initial challenges were with trading? And then how has what you've learned now changed your perspective on like what you were doing before? Does that make sense?
I think shiny object syndrome, like
Mhm.
always thinking, oh, that looks like it could be better constantly.
Mhm.
Because like you're like, oh, I've just started, I don't really know what I'm doing. And obviously that was true, but
Yeah.
you're just constantly looking for what will work. You're like, oh, let me do that instead, let me do that
Right.
instead, and then never actually sticking to one thing. And I feel like it's kind of ironic about trading that, like, especially with the strategy that you've shown us, is that it's actually really, 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 really easy. All you
Yeah.
have to do is do the thing. That's all you
Yeah.
have to do. The
Literally.
hard bit is letting it be easy. The
Right.
hard bit is just trusting that it doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter what success they're seeing doing the other thing. It doesn't matter. Just stay on the road, just walk on the straight road, and you'll
Mhm.
get there.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, I
Really
feel
good.
it's just that simple.
That is really good advice.
I feel like you've had such golden nuggets in what you've said. You've
No,
really
I'm like,
had
damn
some
girl, you're on a
quotable,
roll.
some quotable moments. I hope you guys are really listening to what she's saying and writing things down. You had noted how much this really stood out to me because it's such a valuable piece of our community. And you noted how you loved that everybody could come together and communicate about what they're learning and how they're growing. Can you tell me a little bit more about how connecting with other women in the community has maybe helped you overcome any learning curves or hesitations or frustrations?
The community's been great. I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword because sometimes it's brilliant because you're not just alone. Like in real life, before Forex for Women, I was the only trader that I knew. But since Forex for Women coming to the conference, since I've connected with other traders, I've met some in London, hung out with some in the US. So and like even Maya just texted me before this call saying like, you got this, like little things like that, people understanding how you feel and knowing what you're going through with the trades. When we're all losing or we're winning, we can celebrate together. That's great. But I think also on the other side of it, it kind of can add to the noise of like the distraction a little bit. Like, for example, when people are upset, they're seeing losses and the kind of like feeling of maybe panic or despair or whatever, can kind of, or like saying, oh, maybe we should try this. Let's trade on the 4 hour. Let's trade on the 1 hour. Let's set it 1-to-1 risk to reward instead, or whatever. It can be quite distracting. So
Yes,
I think
and how do you navigate that? How do you overcome that?
I just use it as an exercise to strengthen my focus.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Amazing.
But it is a great thing to have. I love it. But at the same time, you
Yeah.
just got to be careful.
Gotta
It's like a
tread
you
with
thing.
caution.
Trust me,
Yeah.
girl, we
It's just not
understand.
listening.
We hear you.
For sure, for sure. And there's a lot of people who, they want to help. And so they're posting things in the chat that maybe go completely opposite of what we teach and things like that. So it can be really, you just have to kind of stay on your toes and be like, okay, what information am I gathering here? Is it positive or is it negative? And how can I ignore that and stay on my own path? So yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
And
Really good.
I hope that helps everybody understand why Gemma, Amanda, and I make the decisions that we do within the community. We're always trying to make sure that everybody's safe and there's the noise is minimal in there. So when we do have to do things, you know, as far as the community goes, that's why. And so I hope you feel that as well.
Mm. And I know the reason why we did that too is like in those moments of, oh, when you just see that inspiration from another woman, it's like these Testimony Tuesdays, it's like, you know, maybe there's that pivotal moment that you just needed that little bit of inspiration from another woman. Like, if she can do it, so can I, right? And I know that the three of us especially said we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for each other. So it's like having that community more as like a backbone support for you and inspiration. And I think it's processing it in a way that's beneficial to you. And I think you do that beautifully. Like you said, you process and you actually gain strength from having that sisterhood. I know, like, we've seen so many calls of you and so many people you've met up with and having drinks in the bar while you guys are on the call with us, and it's just so beautiful how you can find connection. And I think a lot of us actually have the same values. We attract those women in. I want to know, I guess, from when you started and being submerged in this, right? Like reading the books, being on the mindset calls, having a simple system to follow. I want to know, how has your confidence grown? So kind of trying to figure it out on your own, versus coming in and actually having these things for you to follow. How do you think, if you look back at who you were when you joined us versus who you are now, like, how much confidence have you grown having kind of a system and the mindset pillars to kind of support your growth?
Yeah, I think it's helped me incredibly, like so much in every stream, like the trading strategy, of course, because it's making me money. The book club, because it's keeping me like, I've read 12 books this year. Well,
Wow.
11, and I'm on the 12th. So it's like I don't usually read. So it's like it's motivated me to like keep going, and then like keep, you know, having these ideas in my head, and like getting out of just, you know, previous mindset of like, oh, I'm sad, oh, I'm low, oh, this is just my life and I can't change it. It's kind of just helping me step into my power and like just the truth that it's up to you. It's all up to you. So that's invaluable. And yeah, just all three of you are just great role models. Like the way you run this community, the way you deal with like negativity as well, or like potentially rough patches. Like I know after the conference there was all this excitement about the new strategy, and then maybe the markets weren't so
Yeah.
complimentary. And then yeah, people, there was a lot of complaining, negativity, and I don't know, I just felt like, oh my God, that must have been so tough. But I felt like you handled it really well. And it's great for us to see, members of this community, to see how like gracefully you just get on with it and you get the job done as well. Like it's not just like airy fairy, it's like you actually get the job done.
Wow, that really means a lot to me, Lydia. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it was rough. It's rough at that time. We're on the uphill. We're going like to the moon now, right, everybody? I know that you talked a little bit about some of the things that you financially accomplished, and I know you didn't get to withdraw that $60,000, but you came really close. So how has that level of success affected you and your view of what is possible for you in your future? I mean, what have your goals changed since you first started? What is your like sort of big milestone that you're like, I am so doing this?
And I just,
Yeah,
sorry,
I think when I
add that in, I just want to say, I know you even at conference came and hugged us and was like, my mum's here, right? You brought your mum from the UK to the US, right? For our conference. You're like, trading covered this. I was just like, when you came up and hugged us and said that, I was like, okay, this is like just this. I'm like, okay, we're done. This is worth it. This is so amazing. Like the fact that you're bringing your mum so she can see what you're submerged in. That was so powerful for me. Sorry, you can continue now. I just wanted to add that in there because that was such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I wanted to show her what's possible. Like I've changed so much because of the mindset. I think the mindset book club and mindset has really helped me like grow, like break out of my me. This is my
Yeah.
sad life shell. Actually, no, I can choose how my life is going to be. So
Yeah.
I wanted to show her as well. But I forgot what the question was.
The question was basically, what are your big goals going forward? You've already accomplished so much. What are you looking forward to in the future?
I just want to keep growing. So I'm still in one of my prop firms and I'm on phase 2 of another one. So I want to keep doing those. But I'm
Nice.
also focused still on my personal account.
Mhm.
So I'm like adding more to that and like risking 3% now instead of the 2% I was risking before, even though I think it was meant to be 1%. But yeah.
Rebel at heart.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah,
And
but
you're
just like
doing
keep growing. But I think now, just having been in the community longer, and now I feel like more confident with it. I know what I'm looking at when I look at the charts. I feel more comfortable just to let it be like a background thing. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like not always be looking at the
Yeah.
charts, not always be, you know,
Obsessive over it.
yeah. And just
Mhm.
trying to just be like, okay, this is fine. This can run. I'll do it once a day, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna do other stuff now as well.
So I know some of the women are saying, are you trading the daily strategy that we
Yeah,
teach?
exactly as you say it. Weekly's gone. Goodbye, weekly MA.
Mhm.
Trading the MVPs now.
Yep.
Yeah, just look at it at 10 p.m. my time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time. And
Amazing.
yeah, just exactly as you say it. And last
Mm.
week was great.
Yeah, it was
Mm.
really good. I'm praying that
Yeah.
that's what is just continuing as we move forward.
Yeah.
Mm. I love hearing your story so much, Lydia. You are showing me like you had perseverance in the beginning. You said, this is not where I want to settle and stay. And you just decided to make a change, and you've always been consistently pursuing that. I'd love to hear if there's anything that you're like, what's your biggest why? You know, that why that's 7 levels deep. I'd love to hear. Have you found that yet?
I didn't want to get emotional. I already cried at the
Oh.
conference. It's probably family. It's probably just, yeah, just family. Um, I would like to create one. So I also look up to you ladies because you've all got families, which is something that I'd really like to have one day. But also just to kind of break the like generational downness. Is
Mhm.
that a thing? Just like the generational, this is hard
Right.
attitude that has just been had. And I kind of just want to break out of it and just prove that I can do it.
Mm, yeah.
I was, just coming from seeing the adults around you all kind of be down all the time about life and how they can't get out and how it's tough. And just like thinking, well, you can actually. You
Mm.
can. Just do it. Go, do
The
it,
change of a mindset. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are proof of that, right? Like if you
Mhm.
actually step into that and think you have broken that cycle, you are the one that has done that because you went against the grain. Like let's actually just sit in that for a second, because you could have just stuck with teaching, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's beautiful. We need teachers, but you also decided, I want more. Like what I thought it was going to give me, it hasn't given me what I thought. The feelings I thought I was going to have, the freedom I thought I was going to have, the options I thought I was going to have wasn't what I expected. So I'm going to go looking for more. And you didn't just give up, you searched, and look at what you've already created. And I know this is just the beginning for you. You're just going to build, because this foundation is so sturdy for you now. You're just going to build, and your goals are
You
just
can
going to
make
continue to
60K
grow.
once, you can make 120K next time. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
you've done it once, you will do it again tenfold. So
Mhm.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited to continue
I'm
to follow.
expecting it. I'm expecting it.
That's the
Yeah.
key. You just have
Yeah.
to expect it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, I
So
love it.
powerful.
Yeah.
So I think we can kind of wrap things up if there's anything final that you want to say. But I would just like to know, I know we have a lot of people here who are watching who aren't a part of Forex for Women, or maybe you're just curious about trading and really aren't sure what they're getting themselves into, what would you say to another woman who is considering stepping into this space, but maybe is just feeling a little hesitant or unsure about it?
This is the best investment you could ever make.
Mm.
That's what I can say. The mindset is invaluable. It will change your life. The trading strategy will make you money, which will change your life. Like,
Yeah.
the support that you will get in the community is also invaluable. Like, the people, like in this community, you'll find people who understand your need and your want to grow and be bigger and better than you currently are.
Mm.
I feel like it's very common for people to not even tap into that, and to have a whole community of women who want to better their lives and who have the guts to say that they want to do it is amazing. So yeah, I think it's the best investment that you can make, and it's not even that big an investment. What is it, like $20-$30 or something? I don't know, but it's not that much. And you'll make it back if you trade. So
Right.
just do it.
Let's do it. I love it.
Love that. Can you vouch that this community may bring you some of the best friends that you could ever ask for?
Well, I'm still in the process of developing those friendships, but I'm making some really valuable connections. Like,
That's amazing.
one lady came, she visited the UK and we met up, and she was the one that when we were doing the homework for book club, and we literally snuck into the executive lounge of a hotel in central London, and we're having like cocktails and like little desserts there. And just like meeting up with her, like the energy was so positive. Just like we understand each other, like we know that we're growing. We don't need to pretend, that mainstream chat of like, oh, it's hard, but we'll get through it. Just like actual true understanding of one another that we're growing and becoming.
I love that.
So good.
Thanks.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Lydia, for sharing your journey with us and your story and being so vulnerable. I can say probably on behalf of all of us that I'm incredibly inspired, and your perseverance is just unmatched, and you're really amazing, and we really, really appreciate you.
Thank you so
Same
much.
to you. We appreciate you so much, all three of you, and Ashley and Mel.
Yes,
Yes.
the whole team.
I know.
Absolutely. Lydia,
And-
your personality
Samantha.
is absolutely just so sweet and gentle and loving. But I see this also fire inside of you that is like, I will never give up. This is my goal. This is my dream. I will be successful here. And that determination is going to take you so far. And I think it has inspired, drop 222 in the chat, if it has inspired you massively today. You have left so much inspiration all over today. Thank you.
Yes, I hope you take that and claim it, because I know when we first got on, you're like, I'm really nervous. And I'm like, you got nothing to be nervous for, girl, because you're just you're just speaking your truth, right? That's what these Testimony Tuesday calls are about. It's not about a set script. It's not about us telling you things that you've got to say. It's just genuine people sharing their journey, and that's what I said to you. Just speak from the heart, and you will impact people because of you speaking your truth. And so I just want to say thank you so much for being part of our community. You are such a valuable asset here, and we do genuinely appreciate each and every single one of you. And I want you to know that if you are brand new to this, or you're looking for a place of growth and confidence, I'm sure Lydia has shown to you today that is what we foster here. In all areas of life. It's mindset, it's development, it's the inner work, and it's the strategy to compound wealth. So thank you for showcasing that you do tap into all of it. And I genuinely believe that is why you are where you are at today. And I can't wait to interview you in a year's time, because I know the growth you're about to experience is just going to be massive.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you so much.